Enough talk. We got Spock.
Let's rock.
I like it. Cam, halfway through the season, beyond flashbacks, beyond voiceovers, we finally get Ethan Peck here as one Mr. Spock. Finally, I'll say this, we didn't really get to see the true Spock that we're used to.
What are you talking about? This is the Spock I know and love.
Sorry, Leonard Nimoy. But that said, we saw him in kind of a shattered state when it comes to his mind. He's kind of repeating numbers, and he's really into Alice in Wonderland here.
Really into it in a big bad way.
So I don't think this is the best way for us to really judge what Ethan Peck is going to be bringing to the role, but I'm still very intrigued by what we're getting so far and what I think he's capable of bringing.
Definitely.
Here.
I have a question for you. This is, I think, what, like the 6th or 7th actor to play Spock?
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids that have played him, as well as the kid in Yesteryear, the animated episode.
And you do cosplay in your bedroom
every year,
every night. That's
every night.
Your pajamas. Yeah.
Twice on weekends. Yeah, I mean, so we've seen Spock introduced a lot in these various forms. We saw the young child Spock introduced earlier in Discovery. Where do you think this ranks in terms of Spock introductions for a new actor?
For a new actor.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know if the child actors are always that well served. Although the one
I
in
feel like
2000,
their scenes are good though.
The one in 2009 though, like that was actually a pretty good scene. I did like that. Honestly, the one with the weird eel stuff in Brother.
You're never gonna forget that though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
This one, look, if you drop him into a crypt that blocks Katra telepathy. Yeah, probably not the most exciting, thrilling way to introduce a new Spock character.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the one on Genesis, I mean, there's like, 7 iterations of that? I don't, like, how many of those do you quite recall?
Well, exactly, yeah. But I like where they set the introduction to this Spock. Like, we've never seen this crypt before. Like, it was a cool-looking set. You've got, Burnham and the whole family around him. So you have, like, this good unit kind of built around this character to introduce him back into audiences. I just wish he'd had maybe, like, a single moment of recognition of what was going on around him. Like, just a glimmer. Give me something. Like, he says, like, one sentence, and they're like, he's in there somewhere. Something like that.
Well, the one glimmer that I think, and it's a bit of a leap that I'm making here, though, is he's repeating those numbers, right?
Sure.
And we find out it's backwards, and they're actually coordinates to Talos IV, which is just an amazing shout-out to the cage and the menagerie from the original series. I really hope it lands for most audience members, although I'm skeptical. Not everybody will necessarily get this one. But Cam, you and I are super excited to see the return of the Talosians. What do you think this could bring to us with regards to both Spock as well as the possible reintroduction of some very iconic Star Trek aliens?
Speaking as someone who has a photo with Anson Mount wearing a shirt that says Talos Forever, I am so excited to see the reintroduction of Talos. And to do it through Spock is really interesting to me because when you watch The Cage or The Menagerie, it's all tied with Pike. Like, that is the central character, as well as Vina. Like, those are the two, feels like, the protagonists of that story. And so I'm really interested to get it from, like, the Spock point of view. Like, we keep saying Spike, I don't know. But the Spock point of view of this world. Because in that episode, he's really playing kind of just a perfunctory role. He's, giving a little bit of exposition. He's looking at flowers. But it's not like he's really contributing to the ongoing plot. He's trying to save Pike.
But I think what we can tell, at least from, an episode like The Menagerie, is, like, I think this planet had an effect on him as well.
Yeah.
If we're kind of filling out that story, I think this is going to be exciting for the character. And look, I think that there could be some fun fan service if Pike happens to make an appearance next week on our journey to Talos IV.
Definitely, and maybe a Vina reconnection. But also, you look at the episode The Menagerie, and, like, Spock is willing to put his entire career on the line to basically get Pike back to Talos. Why? Like, the Cage doesn't show us this. And so I'm hoping that we get those kind of gaps filled in this story, and we understand the connection between Spock and Pike, which we could always assume was there because they served together, but we've never seen it.
Yeah. Cam, I'll just say this. If there's no Dr. Boyce by next week, then I'm really going to be angry.
He's actually in a Talosian makeup. He's like, it's me! And he pulls it off like Scooby-Doo.
Cam, stop reading the letters that I send to the writers of the show, okay?